Hi, my name is Bill Loden, and I'm here in Bellevue, Washington, where the msdev team is hard at work moving their websites to the cloud with the Windows Azure platform. Now, msdev is all about enabling Microsoft partners to be more successful, and as part of those efforts, they've created several websites that provide everything from marketing and licensing support to developer training. Currently, those websites are hosted using a traditional third-party hosting solution, but that's about to change. msdev is excited about the many benefits of moving everything to the cloud with the Windows Azure platform, but they're even more excited about sharing their story with you.
My name is Michael Francisco. I work for Microsoft and I manage the Breadth Solution Partner team. So our role is to think about how we help Microsoft partners adopt the latest platforms and how we help them grow their businesses in partnership with Microsoft.
My name is Eveline Z and I manage the msdev.com website. I work on Michael Francisco's team and I basically manage all the ISV platform adoption programs.
Feedback we're getting from our partners is that it's a great resource for them to learn about our platforms and our tools and how those things work together. More importantly, it helps give them the skills or at least the knowledge they need to actually improve their products or develop new products on top of the Microsoft platforms, both to increase the efficiency of the development process as well as to create products that are more marketable and more sellable and ultimately drive better revenue for them in the long term.
For msdev to move into Azure, it's a huge benefit for us just on the cost saving side. It's not just the cost savings around hosting, but it's also the maintenance cost savings that we're going to have. For us, that's a big deal because anything that we save on maintaining the site and ensuring that it's up will translate into more dollars for content development, for the whole point of the site, which is getting learning out to our developer partners. Also, ensuring that our partners get the best service and ensuring that our site is up 24/7. That's the number one concern for us. So it was a no-brainer to move to Azure. Once we decided that that was what we were going to do, it was just a matter of kind of putting the pieces together and putting the plan together and getting there.
Now today, I'm going to talk to the folks at Slalom Consulting, who are responsible for making it all happen.
My name is Stephen Roger, and I'm a managing director for Slalom Consulting.
My name is George Ghali. I'm our director of custom development at Slalom Consulting.
I've been in the consulting industry about 15 years.
Slalom's been fortunate in that we've been working with Windows Azure really since the inception of it for over 2 years now.
We've been working on the Azure migration for about a month.
I have a lot of people on my team with a lot of breadth and depth in Windows Azure, so a lot of my preparation really dealt with working with them on a high level to figure out what is and isn't possible and what pieces we're going to have to undertake for our specific project.
We had an individual that had been working on the Azure platform prior to its beta release even, internally here at Microsoft, and teamed him up with individuals who knew a lot about the websites and how they operated and how they were working. And we sort of did planning together and kind of went through all the major components and talked through at a high level how they would migrate and what they would migrate to.
This is our current msdev architecture. We have our big IP load balancer coming in. We have a couple of web servers. We've got our video storage back here. We have our SQL database. We have WebO2 right now, which is mostly being used for reporting services. And then obviously we have that piggybacking QRC tool that we're going to have to find some sort of solution for. And we have our Active Directory server.
We have a couple of hybrid scenarios, throughout the process. They are functioning websites and they have to continue to function 24/7 throughout this process.
I am very familiar with the current msdev site, not only doing oversight and planning on that project as well, but I was the data architect. All of the database side of things and all of the store procedures were really developed by me.
Further, in preparation, the people didn't have a lot of Azure experience. We did about a 2-hour session helping them get up to speed on kind of the basics. Most of them have found it quite easy. Any .NET programmer should be able to pick it up pretty quickly.
When we're looking at mapping this into Windows Azure, the web servers, obviously no problem mapping. The big IP Active Directory can go away. WebO2, we're going to have to try and figure out something for reporting services, probably have a hybrid solution with a terrestrial footprint. The QRC tool can just piggyback on that, I think, pretty easily. The videos we can move into blob storage, and that'll be a really good benefit of Windows Azure. And then SQL 01, our database, obviously it'll work just fine in SQL Azure, so I think that should be really good there.
It's actually a pretty senior self-directed team. They don't need a lot of management. We expect to see a significant savings as far as just pure hosting costs.
The primary benefit is really the cost. I think that there's such a compelling argument based solely in the financial realm in terms of trying to migrate your stuff to Windows Azure.
We can get new releases out very quickly and easily.
The additional benefit, I think, will be really user satisfaction in terms of performance, in terms of reliability, in terms of stability and availability.
Not having to worry about infrastructure planning and capacity planning and procuring servers.
I think the Windows Azure solution is pretty well baked by now in terms of what it's capable of. So I think as long as we work within the parameters, things should be fine.
There's some, I'll call them edge cases around these sites that don't necessarily have a clear migration path. It'll be my responsibility to try and figure out what to do in those areas.
We already did one migration from SQL 2005 to SQL 2008, so we're already familiar with the idea of trying to take the database and migrate it. This will just be a slightly different migration, and there will be some nuances. Moving forward, I intend to be doing a lot of the same thing, which is really providing oversight for the development, being the liaison with the client, providing a lot of the background information and background knowledge, and obviously being that point of contact for the current state.
We have a couple other projects where the sites are really just being stood up to run marketing campaigns. They're created and they're going to be up for 3 months, and then they're going to be taken down, and it's like a great application for Windows Azure.
We expect that there's going to be some pieces that have to remain in a terrestrial footprint, if you will, but I expect that most of it will go off pretty well, and I expect users to actually appreciate the additional functionality and the additional performance that Azure will provide.